Good morning, this is Justin Daly, President and CEO at VR Resources. It's February 20th, 2025, and this morning we announced the completion of our drilling at the Silverback Copper Gold Project in northwestern Ontario. First though, a note on the Empire geochemistry results from drilling last December. We received our precious metal results last week, seeing gold, platinum, and palladium anomalous across the drill holes around the complex. And we are now waiting for the base metal results, which I'm told are imminent, coming in this week from the lab. I know I've said a couple times over the last 2 to 3 weeks that they would be coming in. And with these results, the base metal results, we hope to ratio the copper against palladium, things like that, to show depletion in certain zones where we have the sulfide segregation textures reminiscent of the highway outcrop. And we want to see where that metal has moved from and towards enrichment zones in a more cumulate or restyle mineralization event for follow-up work later this spring and summer. On to Silverback though, we drilled 6 holes for 1,342 meters. The first 4 holes were focused on the central zone IP anomaly, drilling to a depth average around 220 meters in each of those 4 holes, and really focused on testing the IP chargeability as well as coincident DIGHEM anomalies and inferred structures from our magnetic and resistivity data, showing after a bit of orientation structural logging of the core that there's actually a very strong northeasterly trend to a lot of the foliation, shearing, and veining that we see in the drilling so far. This led us to move towards the 6-channel EM on the northeastern end of the property at North Arm. You'll notice as well there's a 99th percentile regional gold anomaly about 1.2 kilometers further northeast from there. And this now is showing us a 3-kilometer breadth of a similar style of geological features, porphyry intrusions, quartz carbonate veining, clay, chlorite, sericite alteration, and deformation zones. The common consistent thing here is that deformation and shearing, which is overall trending to the northeast with splays heading to the north-northeast. We're seeing some of those deformation zones here in the core photographs from the news release. In hole 3, you can see that lower row with strong bleaching around some veins. You can see it already a couple different orientations that we've logged on that oriented core. You can also see that very strong chlorite sericite alteration that's almost obliterated that precursor protolith rock. The same is true 1.7 kilometers away at the 6-channel EM with this chlorite sericite schist. There's mylanites around this zone as well, porphyroblastic, with very strong layering caused by that ductile deformation through the rock. And in hole 4 as well, we're seeing more of that mafic, ultramafic complex rock, where we're looking at some sulfides streaming along those foliation planes from that deformation. And we're thinking now that there's maybe 2 or 3 different deformation events affecting these rocks and using those pathways for hydrothermal fluid flow in more of an orogenic style system. This map here is a little bit dated at this point. It's from 2020, but it gets the picture across for the staking along these northeast trending structures in the Marmion terrain. The Marmion terrain being that pink area dominating the central part of the map there. You can see Hammond Reef just off of one of the major structures, these northeast structures that come off of the east-west Quetico Fault, where that gray area is towards the bottom of the map. I've circled Silverback in purple with a pink triangle at our copper gold silver showing. And you notice that there isn't a mapped northeast structure there. We, I believe, are the first people to recognize this structure in this area. Also of note, though, is that we are in the greenstone belt, the Lac de Molac greenstone belt, as opposed to the Marmion batholith, where a lot of these other claims have been staked on these northeast trending structures. That granitic batholith is going to be a lot more brittle deformation. There's less iron in those rocks. And so you get more dispersed mineralization events, such as at Hammond Reef. When you're inside of a greenstone belt in these mafic volcanics with a mafic ultramafic intrusive complex and these later porphyry intrusions, you get more iron for the sulfide to attach to along these deformation trends. So we will be following up once we have our geochemistry from this recent drilling to see where along these trends the sweet spot is, what our results look like, and following up with soil and till sampling, stripping and trenching in the summer months, and follow-up drilling on more of these DIGHEM and IP anomalies. Because as we've noted to date, there is a strong correlation between these near-surface conductors and the chlorite sericite alteration around these deformation zones. That is very promising for the style of mineralization that you see regionally in this district. So with that, stay tuned and hope to see some of you at PDAC in 2 weeks' time.